Welcome to Cinemophile, where we bring you the best in independent, documentary, and foreign films, and we talk to the people who made them. I'm your host, Mike Caspar, and you can find out more about the program by going to cinemophilepod.com. Awarded by the Academy and the Festival of Cannes, a staple of Spike and Mike's Festival of Animation programs, guest couch gag contributor on The Simpsons, and a fiercely independent artist, one-man industry, Bill Plympton is the American underground animator par excellence, one of the most recognizable in the business. We're joined today by the true legend of animation in the world, and that would be Bill Plympton. He's going to be at the Metrograph Theater on June 1st, Sunday, June 1st. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But Bill, welcome back to the program.
Yes, happy to be here.
Well, it's always a pleasure to talk to you about whatever you're working on, but particularly glad to see that your appearance at the Metrograph will again shine a light on your work, give you an opportunity to connect with an audience, to be seen by people who may not have seen your work before. Tell us a little bit about going to the Metrograph Theater in New York City, which is coming up on June 1st.
Well, it's going to be a great event because not only will I introduce the films and do Q&A, but everybody who comes gets a free drawing. I have postcards, and everybody will get a free drawing on that, and they can see some of the original art from my film. So that's very cool. You rarely get to see original art because most of the films now are done digitally, so they don't have real paper drawing like I do. So it's going to be a very cool event.
Sounds fun. And just as a kind of a plug to people who have not heard of or have not been to Metrograph, it's really become, for me, even though I'm not a New Yorker, I don't live in New York, but when I look at the schedule of filmmakers that they have and they present in person, it's a pretty remarkable enterprise they have going on there. So I'm so happy to see that you're going to be a part of that.
Yeah, and what's great is they have a real solid audience. I mean, they really pack it in. People are really fans of film and animation. So this will be a wonderful evening for me to talk about cartoons and animation and competing with the live action artists. So I hope it's a fun night. I think.
Yeah, let me just let people know that of the films that you'll be there for on June 1st, of the films you'll be there to talk about on June 1st, I Married a Strange Person, Hot Dog, and Santa the Fascist Years will be there's two showings, and this will be the first showing on June 1st. Let's talk a little bit about any of those three films, I Married a Strange Person, Hot Dog, or Santa the Fascist Years.
I have a great story about I Married a Strange Person. It got selected for Sundance, which is really a great festival, obviously. So it's a big opportunity for me. And we thought it was a really wonderful film. The audience went crazy for it. They were standing, applauding. They wouldn't stop laughing. And so I was really optimistic about the chances of the film, but nobody picked it up. And I think that was because it was adult animation. It wasn't for kids. And people are going there looking for something that they know there's a mass audience for. So I was very, very despondent. And as you know, the Sundance, they have these shuttle buses going around from theater to theater and to ski slope to ski slope. I saw the head of Lionsgate Films was there in the bus. I was riding the bus, and he was there in the bus, and I knew him. I met him at a party. So I went up to him and I said, I don't know if you remember me. I'm Bill Plympton. I did I Married a Strange Person. He said, oh, yeah, Bill, great, wonderful. Congratulations. Good to see you here. And I said, have you seen the film? He said, no, I haven't seen. I got so many films to watch. I just don't have time to watch your film. And I was really depressed and rejected, obviously. And as I was turning around to walk away from him, the doors opened to the shuttle bus, and in walks this 19-year-old skier, those ski boards things. He looks at me and he says, he's got snow coming down his face and all over his jacket, and he got the knit cap, the real 19-year-old skier. And he says, dude, you're Bill Plympton. Wow, I Married a Strange Person. Rock. That's fucking great film. I just can't believe it. And anyway, he jumps out of the bus right there, skis down the hill, and that's the last I saw of him. And so the head guy from Lionsgate looks at me and he says, "You know what? Do you have a copy of that film? I'd like to take a look at it." And so I actually had one with me. I gave it to him. He loved it, and they bought it for a good chunk of money, I must say. I was surprised. And it made royalties. It got in the Variety Top 25 films for that week. So it was really this crazy guy, this kid. I don't know where he is. I'd like to shake his hand, but he made the deal for me. And that's the reason I brought this up is that's life of being an independent. There's no real sure thing. You know, there's no guarantee you're going to sell your film. And oftentimes I don't sell them to a big distributor, which I wanted to. And this kid, whoever he was, I didn't pay him or anything like that. It's like film for me. So that's life as an indie animator.
That is a great story,
Yeah.
which really leads me to a part of a conversation I'd like to have with you about your renowned for your work, but you're also renowned for, as you just described, your independence and how daunting it can be and has been, and I'm sure in many
Right.
parts of your career. But at the same time, the satisfaction and the reward, I hope, are commensurate with what you've had to deal with. Where did you get the sense of that you were going to be in control of your own destiny when you got involved in animation? When did that happen for you?
Well, it started very slowly. I didn't know how to animate. I knew how to draw cartoons and tell funny stories and things like that, but I didn't know the process of making a film. Uh, and that was only when I did this film called Boomtown with Jules Pfeiffer. Jules Pfeiffer wrote the song, and I animated it, and I did it for free because they had no money, and the film was a success. And I said, "Well, I made my own film or someone else's film. Now I want to make my film." And that's when I came up with the image of this guy singing a bad song, and I knew no one would give me money for it, so I financed it myself. And fortunately, it was only 3 minutes long. I think it cost like $2,000. It wasn't a lot of money. But the amazing thing was the film just took off like a rocket. I don't know what the deal was, but it just won all these prizes and flew me all over the world and was on MTV and everybody wanted to see the film. And that's when I realized that I can make money doing my own films rather than to go doing pitch sessions. I'm terrible at pitch sessions. I get very self-conscious and start stuttering and falling to the ground. And so I preferred financing it myself. And that way I own the copyright of the film
Right.
and the film pays off into the future. Now that's happening with I Married a Strange Person and The Tune and Mutant Aliens. All these old films I did, 15 years ago are bringing in money on the Blu-rays and Metrograph screenings and places like that. And the money is helping pay for my next film. The next film I make is financed by the films I've made in the past. So it's a system that's worked fairly well for me, and I'll probably continue doing that. I'm addicted to owning my films.
Yeah, that film, by the way, is called Your Face, in case people want to look it up. And
Thank you.
Maureen
Yes.
McEllerin was your
Yes,
old
McElroy.
friend that apparently sang, and you
Yeah.
decelerated her voice. Do I have that correct?
Yes, because it was a male. I drew the male guy singing the song, and Maureen. I didn't want to distort her voice too much, so I slowed it down to give it a male vocal sound. And what's weird is it is sort of vibratos really heavily, and it's like a cartoon voice. It is naturally funny, so that was just an added benefit to I was too cheap to hire a male singer, so I got Maureen to do it.
Well, and along the way, one of the joys and pleasures I'm pretty sure that you have experienced is because you're guiding your own career, you're making these decisions that best suit your
Yeah,
sensibilities. you've been able to not only, Academy Award nominations and awards and all kinds of things have come your way, but you've also got to work with a lot of very, very interesting artists along the way. So, I mean, really, when I see your work, I mean, that's another thing. Your distinctive style of animation. If once you've
Mhm.
seen a Bill Plympton artwork, whatever, a cartoon or a film, it's fairly quick for most people to pick up who this is. So that again is another, I think, reinforcing. I hope it reinforces your sense of
Yeah.
your own your own abilities as an artist.
Well, I didn't get into animation until I was about 38, 39, which is really late. And so the previous years I survived doing illustration. And this was the technique I had whenever I did a magazine illustration or a poster or something like that. And I liked it because it was real quick, it was very distinctive, and it was very powerful art style. And so I realized that why not use the same technique I used as an illustrator into animation. And that's why I'm able to hand draw a complete film myself in 2 or 3 years. So I still like the style. There's different permutations of it. Sometimes I'll put in color, sometimes I'll put in pen and ink, a ballpoint pen, but it's still essentially the same. And like you say, people know immediately who it is that's doing the artwork.
I just want to remind our listeners that we're speaking with Bill Plympton. He is the animator of so many wonderful films. He has been celebrated around the world for his work and will be at the Metrograph Theater in New York City on June 1st. And with a great program, there's going to be two different screenings on June 1st. One of them is
Right.
5:15 and the other one
Hmm.
is at 7:30. But at the 5:15 screening, I want to make sure I get this correct. We're going to see I Married a Strange Person, Hot Dog, Santa, The Fascist Years, and at the 7:30 screening, Cheatin', which I've seen and it's beautiful and wonderful, and also Push Comes to Shove, Footprints. Those are the three films that'll be at the 7:30 screening. And
Yeah, push comes to shove was the one that won the big prize at Cannes. What's weird was when I got invited to Cannes, I said, "Well, I'm really busy. I'm making a film right now. I can't leave my office and my studio." And I got home from work, really tired, and I watched the awards ceremony at Cannes, and Madonna says, "And the winner is Bill Plympton. Bill, come on up." And I was home on my couch watching, and I say, "Oh my God, Madonna, I'm coming." And I blew that one. Next time I'm invited to Cannes, I'm going. I'm not
you're
gonna.
going for sure. It was the Prix du Jury at the Cannes
Yeah,
Film Festival.
jury.
Yeah, for 1991. Yeah. By the way,
Yeah,
in your and also you Spirit Award nominations for Best Film Score. There's a lot of accolades have come your way. I do want to talk a little bit about how I got to know you, which was
oh,
on
good.
Spike and Mike Film,
Yes,
Cartoon Film Festival, and I was open to so many different animated artists during that run of several years of that sort of on the circuit, on the theater circuit of Spike and
yeah.
Mike's. And what was that experience like? Were you in person for some of these? I mean, how did that all kind of?
Yeah, they saw my films at Annecy. That's the big animation festival in France,
Yeah.
and they heard the audience laugh a lot, and so they bought my films. I think I had maybe 5 or 6 films in their show, and they would fly me to La Jolla or San Francisco or LA to where they were doing the showing, and I didn't know what to expect, to be honest with you. And when I got there, it was another world. It was like a circus cartoon show. I mean, it's it's like I was 5 years old again watching Warner Brothers cartoons on TV. It was such a great experience, and weird things. We had pie fights and balloon fights and all sorts of craziness in the cinema, and that to me was the essence of showmanship and cartoons. It's the perfect blending of circus and cartoons.
Well, that's how I got to know about the Simpsons. There were so many Aeon, what's it called? Aeon.
In Flux.
And Flux, I saw, and I'll tell you, I can, and this is a testament to how, what an impression that films can have on a person, for at least for me. I remember the theater. I remember almost where I was sitting in the theater when I saw the Spike and Mike. It was the Mesa Theater in
Uh,
Costa Mesa, California. I remember it like it was yesterday, and watching your films and so many others. And I just completely
yeah,
blown away. I'm a huge animation fan from, Bugs Bunny I was raised on Bugs Bunny and Crusader
oh, good for
Rabbit and
you.
yeah and all that and yeah, Crusader Rabbit nobody knows of anymore, but there were a lot of
I don't.
great and the Bill Ward stuff, all the Bill Ward stuff was amazing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
how that's foundational for me as a person,
Me
really.
too. Yeah. For me, the
Yeah.
big influence was Tex Avery, of course,
Yes.
and Bob. But they really pushed animation in a whole new direction. I mean, Chuck Jones was good. He made great films, but he didn't really push the medium like those two guys did. And so that was a huge influence on my work. Also, people like David Silverman, who did a lot of stuff for The Simpsons, very wild and crazy. There's a lot of great films that influenced me. So
You,
I steal from everybody,
yeah.
basically.
Do you remember this is one of my favorite all-time favorite cartoons. Do you remember Quasi at the Quackadero?
I sure do. Yeah, yeah. What's her name? Jane,
I can't.
Jane something. Ah, she was great. She had a great style,
Oh
really
my God.
a total unique style.
I think it's one of the greatest cartoons I can remember. I mean, as a kid, I was just completely blown away by it. There's a number
Yeah.
of those kind of little cartoons that came and went, but Quasi really stuck with me. I just yeah. So
Sarah Cruikshank.
oh, there you go. Okay. Wow.
Sarah Cruikshank. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think she's still making films. She's
Is
still
that
making
right?
animation. Yeah,
Wow, I'd love to
her.
see some more of her work. Well, we're focused on your work, Bill Plympton. I just,
Yes,
again,
thank you.
I urge anyone, whether you're in New York or in the New York metropolitan area, to be at the Metrograph on June 1st. It also is available at home. So Metrograph at home, you also have an opportunity to watch it
Right.
there. And just doing some amazing work in the theater, in that particular venue, for a lot of different filmmakers. It's great to see. And I know you're working on something.
Uh,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
well, speaking of influences, the film Santa the Fascist Years was influenced a lot by the producers. You
Yes.
know, the Mel Brooks film
Yes.
where Hitler, they did a play about Hitler, show turn. And I thought, that is hilarious. That is great. You know, how could he get away with it? And then I thought, what if Santa got influenced by Hitler? You know, and that was the inspiration for that film. So this was a big influence.
The trifecta of Mel Brooks films is the
Yeah.
producers, Blazing Saddles, and Young Frankenstein, and to me
Right.
those three work together really well. By the way, speaking of our the despicable Hitler, you're working on something now that's kind of related to that subject, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I did it a while
Oh,
last year actually. It
last year.
was
All right.
what was it called? I can't remember the name of it now.
Hitler's Folly. Is that?
The Hitler's Folly. Thank you very much. Hitler's Folly.
Yeah,
And the inspiration was this idea that he wanted to be an artist. He wanted to go to art
it's
school.
true. Yes.
And as you know, a lot of art schools teach animation now. And what if he got the animation bug when he was in art? If he'd gotten in the art school, and then all of his grandiose themes about taking over the world were realized in cartoons. I thought that was the idea. So it only cost me, I think, like $4,000 to make. It's a feature film actually, but
Well,
it was a lot of fun to make, and there are some reasons that it's not distributed commercially because I used some old Disney photos and some Disney stuff, and I just didn't want to get sued. So
okay.
basically, it's a free film.
Well, I know you continue to produce great work, and I just want to let people know they can go to Plymptoons. That's Plymptoons.com, and they can explore more of your work there.
Thank
And
you.
oh, absolutely, and that'll be on the website as well. So anyone who's listening to our conversation, filmschoolradio.com, you can find out more. Facebook, you have a lot of stuff up on Facebook. Go ahead. Go ahead.
We have a lot of the artwork for sale. That's become a real bonus market for me. I didn't realize it until recently that people love to see my drawings from Your Face or The Simpsons or 25 Ways to Quit Smoking. Like you, they have strong feelings, emotional feelings with these cartoons. And they say, I want to own that cartoon. And so we got boxes. You can't see it, but that wall over there is full of thousands of drawings for my film. So
Great. Great.
if you go to Plymptoons.com, check it out.
Okay, definitely. And I remember how to quit smoking. I remember that from Spike and Mike too. I remember I watched that at Spike and Mike. Yeah, absolutely.
That was on MTV for 8 years. They kept running it because not only was it funny, but it had a real importance to it, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
also there, my assistant gave me this card.
Patreon.
If you want to join Patreon,
Patreon.
they have a Patreon. What do I do? I have a Patreon. A page. Thank you. Yeah, it's a page.
Yes.
And that would help me immensely. Thank you.
Oh, that's great. Any way we can help. Again, for our listeners, anyone listening to our conversation, check out Plymptoons, Plymptoons. Did I put too many O's in there?
No, you're right.
Okay, OONS and .com, and you can find out more. I don't know where you are on Revengeance, if that's ready for the world yet, but
Oh yeah, Revengeance came out a few years ago. The new one now is called Slide, and that's the cowboy film that we are doing the festival circuit now. It's doing very well in the festival circuit, but hopefully it'll be out this fall. That's the plan.
Fantastic. Well, this is a real honor, truly, for me to be able to talk to you, to be somebody whose work goes straight into all parts of my brain, my intellect, and my emotions. And I love that about animation. I love it about your work, and I'm so happy.
That's what I'm trying to do, get inside people's brains. That's what I want.
Well, mission accomplished here. So I so thank you, Bill. Thank you. All the best on Metrograph and all the work you've been working on and continue to work on. You're a true artist and someone is an inspiration to people who want to guide their own future. Artists who want to be in control. They should be looking at the way you've conducted your career and your life. So thank you so much.
Yeah, that's something I like to talk about is you don't have to join Disney or Pixar to be a success in animation. There are a lot of people like me who make independent films and are quite successful. So it's an open market. It's really fun to make my own crazy ideas.
As long as our brains remain an open market, we're good. We're good, right? So, Bill, thank you, and thank you so much for your time today. Thank you so much for your work again at the Metrograph. June 1st, there's 2 in-person screenings that you will be there to introduce your films.
Yes.
At 5:15 and 7:30 at the Metrograph in New York City. You can also watch it at home, Metrograph at home, and you can also go to your website. As well to find out more about your work. And I urge people to go to Plymptoons. I'll say it one more time, Plymptoons.com to check it out. The amazing Bill Plympton. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
You have been listening to Cinemaphile with Mike Kaspar, the place where you will hear from the best in independent documentary and foreign filmmakers. Please check out our previous interviews as well as upcoming interviews and special programming by going to cinemaphilepod.com. We are also available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, searchable under Cinemaphile with Mike Kaspar. Until next time, thank you for listening.